The absence of any meaningful relationship with her father and the long, slow loss of her mother are two of the most important influences on Jo's writing. Anne Rowling died in 1990. She never knew about Harry Potter or the phenomenal success her daughter was about to enjoy. The death of Joanne Rowling's mother was to have a profound effect on her writing. In many ways, the whole of Harry Potter is one giant attempt to reclaim a childhood.
You think the dead we have loved ever truly leave us? You think that we don't recall them more clearly than ever in times of great trouble?
I'd been writing for 6 months before she died. The weird thing is, the essential plot didn't change after my mother died, but everything deepened and darkened. Harry was always going to lose his parents, and it was always going to be a quest, really, to avenge them, but to avenge everyone against this creature, this being who believes that he can make himself immortal by killing other people. So that's something I created before she died, but yes, it seeped into every part of the books. I think, in retrospect, now I've finished, I see just how much it informed everything.
Was she the first person you saw dead?
No, because I didn't see her dead, which was in deference to my father's wishes. I wanted to see her, and he didn't want me to see her, and I mistakenly, as I look back, I agreed not to, and I really deeply regret that. I really, really, really wish I'd seen her. It didn't matter what she looked like, it would have made it easier. Because I do believe that the truth, which is another theme in the books, and certainly stems from my own past, I think that the truth is always easier than a lie or an evasion. Easier to deal with, and easier to live with.
After her mother's death, Jo moved to Portugal to teach English as a foreign language. She married Jorge Orantes, a television journalist. Together they had a daughter, Jessica, but the marriage failed after 2 years. Jo succumbed to depression.
I'd had a short and really quite catastrophic marriage, and I'm left with this baby, and I've got to get this baby back to Britain, and I've got to rebuild us a life. And adrenaline kept me going through that, and it was only when I came to rest that it hit me what a complete mess I had made of my life. And that hit me quite hard. We were as skint as you can be without being homeless. In other words, we were existing entirely on benefits. And at that point, I was definitely clinically depressed. And that's just characterised for me by a numbness, a coldness, and an inability to believe that you will feel happy again, or that you could feel light-hearted again. It's just all the colour drained out of life, really. And I loved Jessica very, very much, and was terrified something was going to happen to her, because I think I'd gone into that very depressive mindset where everything's gone wrong, so this one good thing in my life will now go wrong as well. So it was almost a surprise to me every morning that she was still alive. I kept expecting her to die, or it was a bad, bad time.
Jo's depression inspired her creation of the Dementors in the Harry Potter series.
Dementors are among the foulest creatures that walk this earth. They infest the darkest, filthiest places. They glory in decay and despair. They drain peace, hope, and happiness out of the air around them. Get too near a Dementor, and every good feeling, every happy memory will be sucked out of you.
The Harry Potter books may be located in an alternative fantasy world, but they're filled with the pain and dilemmas of real life. They address serious moral questions about the nature of trust, loyalty, integrity, and the need to make a stand against evil. Through the series, Harry Potter has to learn what it means to be a force for good against the dark arts of Lord Voldemort.
I think we all understand what an act of evil is, and Voldemort qualifies extravagantly for acts of evil. He's killed not out of self-defense, not to protect, not for any of the reasons that we might all be able to envisage, or most of us could envisage ourselves killing in certain extreme situations if people we loved were threatened or in war. He's killed cold-bloodedly, sometimes for enjoyment, and for his own personal gain. I call that evil. And yes, at the end of the book, you have a clash of two utterly, utterly different, again, for want of a better word, souls. One that has been maimed and has become less than human, because to me, human includes the capacity to love, and Voldemort has deliberately dehumanized himself. And this flawed, vulnerable, and yet still fighting, still loving, still daring to love and daring to hope soul, which is Harry. And they meet and they clash, and it's what happens when they clash that gives us our denouement.
Jo locks herself in the Balmoral Hotel, Edinburgh, to work on the crucial final chapters of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It's January the 11th, 2007, and the end of 17 years of writing.
Yeah, I think I've finished.
Hey Jo, well done.
Thank you. Well, you don't know, it might be rubbish. Some people will loathe it. They'll absolutely loathe it. But the thing is, that's as it should be, because for some people to love it, others must loathe it. That's just in the nature of the plot. Some people won't be happy because of what they wanted to happen hasn't happened. And to an extent, there's so much expectation from the hardcore fans that I'm not sure I could ever match up to it. But I'm actually really, really happy with it. So it's very odd to think that this will be broadcast after loads of people have read it. And people may right now be throwing things at the screen, but I'm really happy with it. I like it. And I don't always feel like that.
Jo puts on the page numbers, saves the document, and plays Lily Allen's Smile. It's almost impossible to describe the level of expectation surrounding this one woman as she goes through the final stages towards publication. The process all seems so normal, almost boring. But this is now the most valuable manuscript in publishing history. She takes it in person to her agent Christopher Little in London. The handover is at Heathrow Airport at 10:43 on Friday the 12th of January 2007. The manuscript is taken to Jo's editor. After she's read it, she goes through it page by page, checking that every loose end is tied up.